Do you guys like the NBA? Well, of course you do. Why else would you watch this video? One of the most well-known teams in this NBA is Boston Celtics. In the team's 67-year history, some of the best players in the NBA have worn Boston Celtics jerseys. All-time greats such as Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Sam Jones, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett have all embodied Celtics pride and led the franchise to championships over nearly 7 decades. However, the franchise has had its share of embarrassing moments, especially in the last 2 decades when Boston has had its shares of ups and downs. The organization has brought in several players who would have Red Auerbach rolling in his grave. Want to know more? Stick to the end of the video. Hello and welcome to Limitless Basketball, where you can find exciting moments and full-on NBA action. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Suspension of Vin Baker in battles with alcohol. Vin Baker, a 4-time All-Star with the Milwaukee Bucks, joined the Celtics in 2002 as a shell of his former self, having battled alcoholism for much of his career. Baker, a former 2010 player who could score in the post, shoot from mid-range, rebound, and defend the post, struggled greatly after leaving the Seattle Supersonics for the Boston Celtics. Baker entered a treatment center during his time with the Celtics, according to a 2004 report from ESPN's Peter May, and was suspended multiple times by coach Jim O'Brien. Baker played in 89 games for the Celtics, averaging 5.2 points and 3.8 rebounds in 2002-03 before improving slightly to 11.3 points and 5.7 rebounds in 2003-04. According to ESPN, Baker was waived by the C's in February 2004 after failing to comply with the terms of his alcohol treatment program. Baker bounced around for a few years after that, playing for the New York Knicks, Houston Rockets, and Los Angeles Clippers, but he never returned to the All-NBA level with which he began his career. Kendrick Brown's non-productive NBA career. Boston selected Kendrick Brown with the 11th pick in the 2001 draft, one pick after selecting future All-Star 2-guard Joe Johnson. Last played in the Turkish Basketball League for Antalya BB 2011-12. Pervis Ellison's knee problems. Never nervous Pervis Ellison, a former first-round pick of the Sacramento Kings, spent a few seasons with the Washington Bullets before signing a 6-year, $12 million free agent contract with Boston in the 1994 offseason. Ellison was a solid defender, rebounder, and shot blocker in his younger days and showed some offensive ability. He averaged 20 points, 11.2 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and 2.7 blocks in 1991-92 while shooting 53.9% from the field. Unfortunately, Ellison could not stay healthy with the Celtics, appearing in more than 55 games only once during his 5 seasons with the team. In the final 3 years of his contract, he appeared in just 69 games. Between 1996 and 1998, Ellison battled a slew of knee injuries and a broken toe that kept him on the bench for long stretches. Obviously, injuries are not a player's fault, but Boston made a big bet on Ellison as its future center, and his inability to even stay on the court cost the team a lot of money. Joe Forte's rebellion against his team. Expectations for a mid-first round pick vary by team, but Joe Forte was nothing short of a disaster in every aspect of the game during his lone season with Boston. Forte, who was drafted 21st overall in 2001, played in only 8 games, clashed with the front office, and ended up averaging a terrible but symmetrical 0.8 points, 0.8 rebounds, and 0.8 assists on 8.3% shooting from the field. Forte, a successful scorer at North Carolina who averaged 20.9 points as a sophomore, struggled to adjust to a more complimentary role in the NBA and was benched for the majority of his rookie season. To make matters worse, Forte expressed his dissatisfaction by rebelling against the team. According to Anton Jameson via ESPN's Patrick Herby, he wore a Magic Johnson jersey during the playoffs and refused to make the necessary adjustments to play the point instead of the 2. In the 2002 offseason, Boston traded Forte to Seattle, where he played 17 games and averaged 1.4 points, 0.6 boards, and 0.6 assists on 28.6% shooting. In October 2004, the Sonics waived him. Career 35-point Gary Payton's defenseless dribbling. Gary Payton did not age gracefully in the NBA after more than a decade as the Supersonics franchise player. Payton spent a year with the Los Angeles Lakers chasing a ring before being traded to the Boston Celtics before the 2004-05 season. At the time, it was obvious that the 36-year-old Peyton had passed his prime, or at the very least, it was obvious to everyone who wasn't named Gary Payton. Peyton's averages of 11.3 points, 3.1 rebounds, and 6.1 assists on 46.8% shooting from the field and 32.6% from the three-point range were respectable but far from his numbers in Seattle or even Los Angeles. Despite his age and lack of quickness, Peyton still attempted to take the defenders off the dribble and attack the basket. Peyton, never an elite outside shooter, struggled to put up the points and took valuable minutes away from the young guards Marcus Banks and Delonte West. Peyton also underperformed in the playoffs, averaging 10.3 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 4.6 assists, while shooting 44.6% from the field and 7.1% from deep. Rasheed Wallace's worst career with Boston. In need of a backup big man, the Celtics signed Rasheed Wallace, then 34, to a 3-year deal in the offseason of 2009, hoping to improve their chances of winning a second championship in the KG Pierce era. Wallace, who won a championship with the Detroit Pistons in 2004, was expected to bring his interior defense, three-point shooting, and distinct brand of leadership to a Celtics team in desperate need of another quality veteran big man. Unfortunately, Wallace struggled with this conditioning and had his worst season with Boston, averaging 9 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 1.0 assists while shooting 40.9% from the field and 28.3% from beyond the arc. Sheed, who was once lauded for his deceptive quickness and ability to guard power forwards and centers, struggled in Doc Rivers' defensive schemes while not displaying the same level of aggressiveness he did in his prime. Todd Day's pointless career. Todd Day, a highly regarded scorer out of Arkansas, was drafted 8th overall by Milwaukee and spent much of the 1995-96 season and the entire 1996-97 season with the Celtics. Though Day put up respectable numbers with the Celtics, the most telling statistic from his time in green is that the Celtics went 408-108 in games with Day on the roster. In 1995-96, Day averaged 12 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 1.4 assists while shooting 37.1% from the field. In 1996-97, he improved slightly to 4.5 points and 4.1 rebounds on 39.8% shooting, but he remained an inefficient scorer who rarely looked to involve his teammates. Following his time with the Celtics, Day played for the Miami Heat, Phoenix Suns, Minnesota, but he only started once and never averaged more than 6.8 points. He finished his career averaging 12.4 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game, and 1.5 assists per game, while shooting 40.6% from the field and 34.5% from the three-point range. The Day was a talented player who flashed the potential to be something special with the Bucks, but he never took the necessary steps to develop that talent. He will forever be associated with one of the franchise's darkest periods in the minds of Boston fans. Fab Melo's disappointing career. Fab Melo's time in Boston was brief, but it was as disappointing as an NBA season can be. Melo was drafted 22nd by Boston in 2012, and while he was a project, there was hope that he could show enough flashes as a rookie with the Celtics to provide immediate help. That was a significant minutes right away, looking clumsy and uneasy on the floor. Melo, they failed to live up to expectations, let their attitude prevent them from succeeding, or were unable to stay on the court. Many Boston players have made Celtics fans wish they had never played. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and share this video with your friends and family.